Hey everybody, and welcome back to the shop. We got the Grinch, we got the hat. We know what that means. It's gifts for the woodworker. This is like the 4th edition I'm doing of this video. It's my favorite of the year. What I'm going to do for you is give you a list of tools starting at a fairly low price point and moving on up. I can tell you that every single tool I have on this list is on the bench right here. I own them all. I bought them all with my own money. No manufacturers gave me these things. Nobody told me what to say about them. I'm recommending these to you because I own them and I use them. So let's get going. I like to start at the bottom and work my way up. Some of these first items, you know, sub $20 stocking stuffer, Secret Santa office type gifts. I think, you know, we're going to work our way up. And then my last one is one I recommend every year. And I always do it last because, you know, it's my favorite. I think you know what it is if you've seen my videos before. But in the beginning, we have this 2-pack of sanding sponges. Last year, I recommended a 4-pack that had 2 other smaller ones and another one of these. The extra one of these was nice, but in reality, these are the only 2 I use, and these are great. The thing about them is they take your 5-inch hook and loop random orbit sander discs. So you only got to buy one type of sandpaper. Both of them take the same type of hook and loop, and this 2-pack at Amazon is $8.99. Put them in the stocking, bring them to the office if you have if you picked a woodworker as your gift. These are great. I use these all the time. Next on the list is a new addition to my toolkit, but I like it so much I'm going to include it because it's the perfect stocking stuffer. It's this little Jorgensen 102, I'm calling it a detail plane. It's a copy of the Stanley 102, but they shrunk it. And it's really kind of neat, and it works really well. I like it. The thing about this is it's probably something that a lot of woodworkers wouldn't buy. It's not your first, second, or third plane you're going to need, but it's a great little gift to get. And if you gave a woodworker this as a gift, they'd work it into their use case, and it will just work for them. It works as a great little block plane in a pinch. I really like it. It's going to get used in my shop. Next is kind of a funny story. I went to Home Depot about 2 weeks ago to get a hat, a knit hat. In this video, I have this knucklehead silly thing on my head, but normally I don't have anything on my head, and when I bend over, you guys see that there's not a lot of shingles left on the roof up there. My head gets cold in the winter, so I went looking for a knit cap, just a little skull cap to put on my head. And I was shocked to see that a little knit cap like this is $16 at Home Depot. I seem to remember they were on clearance last year. Maybe it was because it was spring and they were getting rid of them. They're like $2 or $3. So I took this thing and threw it back on the shelf and said, well, I'm not buying that here. And then, surprise, surprise, right next to it was a box. And in the box was the same knit hat and this that's in my pocket, Gerber knife. This is a small knife. The blade is 3 inches long. It works well. It's got a nice feel to it. I'm not really a knife guy, but I do carry a knife. You know, it's good to have a knife in your hand or in your pocket at all times to open a package, cut a piece of twine when you're tying it down to the truck, whatever. But this currently is selling for $19.88, and that is not a bad deal to get a knife and the hat for basically $20, whereas, you know, they wanted 16 bucks for the hat. That was crazy. By the way, the Jorgensen plane is $14.99 and it's at Lowe's. I forgot to tell you that. I'm going to give you all of the links down below. I have them all in order from how I'm showing them to you with a link where you can get them now. Some of these I've owned for a few years and they may not be available where I got them, but I found links for everything that is good as of today. Next on the list, this is a repeat offender. I love this set, and as long as Home Depot is keeping the Milwaukee 7-inch and 4.5-inch speed squares in a package together for under $20, I'm going to keep recommending this kit because I like this kit. These things are accurate. The red-white combo color is easy to read, and they just work, okay? You need a square, you need a couple of squares in your shop usually. Speed squares are not the most accurate squares on the planet, but these are well made. These are much better than the plastic ones they have. This is at Home Depot for $19.99, so they're creeping up on that $20 price point. All four of those gifts are sub $20 and can be very good Secret Santa office type things or stocking stuffers. Moving on now, I'm kind of doing this in order by price as well, so we're going to work our way up the chain. The next one is kind of interesting because last year I had woodpeckers, and you see I have my woodpeckers hanging here. I love my woodpeckers tools, but I want to give you a couple of options. Lee Valley, the Veritas people, they came out with a Veritas bench square, they call it. This is even wider than the woodpeckers, and what I like about this is it reads left to right and right to left on both ends in the 12-inch length. The woodpeckers one reads left to right, and then it has a center finder on the 12-inch end. And what this is good for is this lives on my Biesemeyer fence, which is just the right width to put it right on there. I always set my table saw up with this square because I can put the number 1, or the 0 basically. I can flush this to my fence and set my blade to whatever I want, and it's very accurate because it's wide enough to flush up to the fence square and come out and give me a very accurate reading to the blade. So a table saw user would love this. I almost never rip past 12 inches, so the 12-inch size is perfect for me. This is at, obviously, Lee Valley, and it is $28.50, so it's not cheap, but it's good. It's well made and it's accurate. Next on the list, you got to be able to cut wood too, right? And I have a couple of saws here by the Suizan company, and honestly, these could be the only saws you need. These are the 7-inch size, which I've grown to like. Personally, if you had a bigger workspace, or if I had a bigger workspace, I should say, I would get the larger ones. They make these in several sizes. I like this size because they have the rubber handles instead of the woven handles that most Japanese saws have. These feel better to me, and because they're a little shorter, I can cut at the bench and not worry about coming back and hitting my wall because I'm really tight here. What you have here is basically all the saws you could possibly need. This is called a Ryoba, and what a Ryoba is a double-edged saw. The coarser teeth are for ripping, the finer teeth are for crosscuts. So you can do all of your ripping and cross-cutting with this one, and this dozuki is a dovetail saw. So it's good for fine joinery type work. The Ryoba is $31.85. The dozuki is $31.70. I have no idea why they're 15 cents apart, but hey, who knows? There they are. Next on the list is a cousin to the newcomer down at the end, the Jorgensen. I have another Jorgensen plane. This is a block plane. This is the Jorgensen 60.5, and this, of the 3 Jorgensen planes I reviewed, the smoother number 4 video will come out after this one. This is the best of the lot. This plane really impressed me for $35. I own 9 block planes, and some of them are named Lee Valley and or Veritas from Lee Valley and Lee Nielsen. And this plane performs very well. I'm very happy with this 60.5 plane. I did have to do some work to set it up, but your friend who's a woodworker, or your father or brother or whoever who's a woodworker will know how to set it up. And once you get it set up, it works great. Really, really, really like this plane. Next on the list, you need saws, you need planes, you're also going to need chisels if you're going to be a hand tool woodworker. And I'm going to go in a little bit different direction. I've recommended several chisels over the years. I've recommended some high-end. I've recommended some inexpensive chisels. I'm going to recommend a set of firmer chisels this year. These are firmer chisels, meaning there's no beveled edge. You know, normal bevel edge chisels have these two corners eased and they come down on an angle so that it's easier to get into your joinery, your dovetails, and clean them out. These are a little bit thicker. They're a little bit thicker this way. These are for really doing some heavy duty work. What you can do with these is, I mean, if you're going to do some mortise and tenon work, but not a lot, where you're not going to want to go buy a specific mortise and chisel for the job, these will cut a few mortises for you, no problem at all. Now, the one caveat I would say here is this should definitely not be the first set of chisels that you purchase. If you're getting chisels for somebody and they're a beginning woodworker, Narex, who makes these, also makes a set of bevel edge chisels. You could go to the same site that I'm going to link down below, and instead of picking firmer, pick bevel edge, and those would be the best first gift. These are for somebody who's been doing woodworking for a while, already has a set of bevel edge chisels, and maybe wants to try something different. I really like them. They're good to really pound and really remove some lumber. They work very well. Moving on. These, I forgot to mention, are available. Let me step back. I said $35. This is at Lowe's, the 60.5. The Narex chisels, actually the Suizan saws, I got at Amazon. They're available in a few other places. My purchase was at Amazon. The Narex chisels are at Taylor Toolworks. That's taytools.com. And they are currently $50.66 for the 4. So, 13 bucks, 12 and change a piece. That's not a bad price for chisels. Next on the list is also from taytools.com, and this is creeping up in price. This was not that expensive when I purchased it, but this is the PEC 12-inch combination square. It's a really good square. It's very accurate, and it slides and locks really well. You can get some inexpensive speed squares at the big box stores, and they're hit or miss. I got an Empire speed square in the 6-inch variety at one of the big box stores a couple of years ago. I think it might have been in this video last year, and I love it. And it was like 10 bucks. But they're hit or miss. You never know when you're getting a good model. The Empire 6-inch, if you can find them at whatever big box store you're in, is a great buy for 10 bucks. Don't get me wrong. I still use it. It's down in the basement. This one I use up here, and it is very good and very accurate. Now, I'm going to put you into a little secret about how these are sold at Taylor Toolworks. This is at Taylor Toolworks, taytools.com, and it is $94.99, so 95 bucks. They sell blemished versions all the time, and this one, I went over it for a while. The blem on this one is a little chunk right there on the inside, so it's not affecting the reference points at all. It's perfectly usable, and I don't mind that little chip. And the blems will come close to 50% off sometimes. So go to their website, look for the blemished tools, and see if you can pick one of these up there. My guess is your woodworking friend, if you're buying this as a gift, would never notice it. And they don't sell blemishes in spots that would affect the use. So it's just a visual thing. These are great squares. They work well. They are getting up there in price though. But I'm starting at the low end and working my way up. The next thing on the list, and I have these listed as the highest because I'm going to recommend, if you're going to get into sharpening, these are the Shapton ceramic stones. They're Cougar something. I can't pronounce the name, but you'll see that if you put in Shapton ceramic stones, you'll find them. They come in several different colors of the plastic cases. I currently own 4 of them. I own the white one, which I believe is $220, and then the orange, which is $1,000. I think they call the 5,000 melon, and this is some kind of green. This is 8,000. They currently have a kit at Amazon of 4 of them. The 1,000, the 5,000, the 8,000, and a 12,000 for $199. So that's a pretty expensive gift, but that lock, stock, and barrel gives your woodworking friend, significant other, whoever, a really good kit. I don't even have the 12,000 stone yet. I'll be honest with you, if you can find the 3 stone kit of just 1,000 5,000 and 8,000. To me, that's good enough. I don't have the 12,000. I might add it someday. I don't know. I'm getting pretty good results coming off of 8,000. Or you could buy them all individually. So, and they're between $35 and say $69, depending on the grit that you get. The finer grits are more expensive. The lower grits are less expensive. So the 1,000 would be less expensive than this 8,000. So you're going to have to do a little shopping there. I gave you a link to just Shapton. So when you drop on that link, you're going to see a whole bunch of different stones. You just got to kind of read a little bit and figure out what we got going on there. I've used almost every sharpening system made by now, and I landed here because these are, they work really well, and they're not as messy as water stones. You don't have to soak these every time. You just spritz them with a little Windex or water and then go to town. A little bit less mess than water stones that you have to keep soaked in water. I loved my water stones. They cut really well, but this is less messy, so I really like these. The final on the list is actually the cheapest thing on the list. You know what it is because I put it on every year. It's my favorite thing to recommend on this channel. It's the Harbor Freight clamp. These are $3.49 a piece. So if you're in the Secret Santa realm down here, grab 4 of them, put them in a box and rack them. Your woodworking friend will love you. You never can have enough clamps. That is a joke of a statement that is always on the woodworking forums, and to a certain extent it's true because you're always trying to glue something up and you're looking for one more clamp. The 6-inch size is just something that we use probably more than any other size, believe it or not. You know, a lot of times we're working with 3/4 inch material and we just want to put 2 of them together. You know, a woodworker is going to have a variety of different lengths. Get him 4 of these for $14 and he'll love you. He'll love you. These are great. There's no way around it. Everything on this bench this year is something that I use almost every time I touch the bench. So I think it's a great list this year. I hope these helped you. I hope you can now run out, get yourself something for yourself and something for your friend and something for your significant other. And if you got that Secret Santa going on, take care of that too. And happy holidays, everybody. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.